If you've ever considered booking an Airbnb, this video may save you from a vacation disaster. Airbnb has revolutionized how we travel, but behind the charming listings and five-star reviews, some truly chilling stories hide in the shadows. Today, we're uncovering the most shocking Airbnb horror stories you need to hear before your next stay. By the end of this video, you'll be armed with critical safety tips and red flags to protect yourself from becoming the next cautionary tale. If you find this video helpful, like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into travel safety, scam alerts, and everything you need for a worry-free adventure. Now, let's begin. Imagine arriving at a cozy apartment in a trendy European city. The host seems friendly, the listing's photos match the property, and you settle in for what should be a relaxing weekend. A few hours later, you notice a tiny light blinking from the corner of the room. On closer inspection, it's a concealed camera pointed straight at the bed. This terrifying scenario isn't just an urban legend. Multiple guests have reported discovering hidden recording devices, sometimes tucked into air vents, smoke detectors, or even stuffed animals. Airbnb does have a policy requiring hosts to disclose any surveillance equipment, but not all hosts are honest. A former guest named Lydia shared her story online, explaining that she found a disguised camera lens in the living room clock. Feeling violated, she immediately contacted Airbnb, but the damage to her sense of privacy had already been done. If you ever suspect hidden surveillance, do not ignore your instincts. Contact Airbnb right away, file a report, and leave the property if you feel unsafe. You should also document any evidence with photos or videos, and consider contacting local authorities if you believe the law has been broken. Not every nightmare involves advanced spy gadgets. Sometimes, the biggest problem is the host themselves. One traveler, Jason, booked a private room in a seemingly safe suburban home. Everything looked fine at first, until the host became overly intrusive, barging into the room at random times and ignoring requests for privacy. Things escalated when the host started rummaging through his guest's luggage, claiming he was checking for items not allowed in the house. When Jason confronted him, the host threatened to report him for damages if he didn't comply. Terrified of losing his security deposit, or worse, facing a baseless legal complaint, Jason tried to stay calm and finish his trip. But by the final night he felt so unsafe, he opted to sleep at a friend's place instead. The moral here is to trust your gut. If your host's behavior makes you feel uncomfortable or endangered, don't be afraid to leave early. Contact Airbnb's customer support and explain the situation. You may be eligible for relocation or a refund, especially if the host is violating Airbnb's guidelines. Sometimes the horror starts before you even set foot inside. You arrive at the address and there's no listing in sight, just an empty lot or a boarded-up building. It seems impossible. But scammers create convincing Airbnb listings by using photos from other properties or from a completely different location. A couple on their honeymoon experienced this heartbreak firsthand. They booked what appeared to be a luxury beachfront condo. The listing showcased beautiful ocean views, modern interiors, and glowing guest reviews. When they arrived, all they found was an abandoned site with no sign of construction or a functioning property. The scammer had stolen images from a legitimate resort and fabricated positive reviews. By the time the couple realized the deception, they were stranded without accommodation. Whenever you see a listing that looks too good to be true, dig deeper. Compare the photos using a reverse image search, read a wide range of reviews, not just the best ones, and look for repeated reviews from the same user. If you have any doubts, send a message to the host asking for additional photos or clarification. If you get vague or evasive responses, consider that a giant red flag. Another kind of horror story unfolds when you, as a guest, become inadvertently complicit in someone else's bad behavior. A traveller named Sophia booked a stylish downtown loft, hoping for a quiet weekend getaway. Unbeknownst to her, the host was notorious for double booking the same property. Late one night, she heard loud voices in the hallway. A group of strangers opened the door with a spare key, claiming they were there for the after-party. Chaos ensued as more people piled in, treating the loft like a nightclub. Sophia was worried about her safety and her belongings. The host was unreachable and the partygoers refused to leave. By morning, the place was trashed and she had no way to prove that she wasn't responsible for the damage. To avoid this scenario, always confirm with the host that you will be the only guest or booking during your stay. Read the house rules carefully and ask questions if anything seems unclear. Look for reviews that mention noise issues or shared spaces. If you suspect the host might be renting out the space to multiple parties at once, find another listing. Not all nightmares involve deception or intrusion. Sometimes the real horror is the host's indifference in a crisis. One couple rented a secluded cabin in the woods for a romantic weekend. The picturesque listing promised peace, tranquility, and off-the-grid solitude. When one of them slipped on the cabin's icy porch steps and severely injured his ankle, they realized there was no cell signal, no landline, and no easy way to reach emergency services. They eventually had to hike several miles back down the dirt road, supporting the injured guest in freezing conditions, just to find a neighbor who had a landline. It turned out that the host had neglected to mention that cell reception was practically non-existent, and that the property had no on-site emergency phone. If you plan to stay in a remote location, ask the host about emergency procedures, local hospitals, and whether a landline is available. If the host dodges these questions, or you discover there is no safe way to contact emergency services, you may want to reconsider booking the property. After hearing these horror stories, you might be hesitant to ever book an Airbnb again. Remember that many stays go smoothly, but being prepared is your best defense. If you want a drama-free experience, here are some critical precautions. Always read both the positive and negative reviews, keeping an eye out for repeating complaints or any mentions of safety issues. Ask the host direct questions about privacy measures, shared spaces and property quirks, and pay attention to the speed and clarity of their responses. Check the location using Google Street View or other map services to ensure the property actually exists and matches the listing photos. Verify communication channels, exchange phone numbers in case the Airbnb messaging app goes down or you lose internet. Trust your instincts. If something feels off about the listing, the host, or the communication, do not push your doubts aside. Look for an alternative because peace of mind is invaluable. Thank you for watching 0 Hour Files. If you found these stories eye-opening, please tap that like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss another essential travel guide. Share any Airbnb stories you have in the comments. Your experience might save a fellow traveler from danger. Stay vigilant, stay safe, and remember, the perfect getaway isn't just about stunning views and cozy amenities. It's about peace of mind.